Did you know that kindergarten, the place where millions of children begin their academic journey, was not originally about learning math or reading? It was about gardening, and playing, and connecting with the divine nature of childhood. In fact, the entire concept of kindergarten began with a single radical idea from one German man who believed children were more like plants than students. This is the forgotten story of Friedrich Fröbel, the man who invented kindergarten, and how his vision quietly reshaped education across the entire planet. And trust us, it's not the wholesome story you were taught in school. So before we dive in, just to let you know that we're seeing that 55% of our viewers who watch our channel regularly have not subscribed to us yet, so we're asking you a favor. Before we start our deep dive, if you like us and want to support us, there's a free and simple way to do that. Just hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out when we put out new videos. We assure you that we will commit to bringing you the best videos each week. We also crave your feedback and suggestions as we aim to give you the best content possible. Before kindergarten existed, childhood was anything but gentle. In the early 1800s, most children, especially from working-class families, were either sent straight into labor or forced into rigid classrooms designed more for discipline than learning. Education was mechanical, authoritarian, and focused on rote memorization. There was no concept of nurturing creativity, no playtime, no crayons or blocks, just chalkboards, strict rules, and corporal punishment. Childhood wasn't seen as a unique stage of life, it was a waiting room for adulthood. But in the lush forests of Thuringia, Germany, a man named Friedrich Fröbel was having very different thoughts. Born in 1782, Froebel had a lonely childhood after his mother died young. He spent much of his early life wandering the forests, fascinated by nature and the way things grew. After studying under the legendary philosopher Johann Heinrich Pestalozzi, Froebel developed a theory that was utterly revolutionary for his time. Children weren't miniature adults, they were growing beings, and just like seeds, they needed the right environment to bloom. In 1837, he put this theory into action by founding the first kindergarten, or children's garden, in the small town of Bad Blankenburg. Froebel's kindergarten wasn't a school in the traditional sense. There were no desks. Instead, children played, sang songs, learned through movement, built shapes with wooden blocks, and even tended to small gardens. These were all part of Froebel's gifts, a series of tactile learning tools he designed to develop sensory, cognitive, and creative abilities. The goal? To nurture what he called the inner divine unity of a child. He believed play wasn't a break from learning, it was learning. This holistic, almost spiritual approach to early education was seen by some as genius, but others found it deeply suspicious. In 1851, just a year before Froebel's death, the Prussian government actually banned kindergartens, labeling them as atheistic and politically dangerous. Why? Well, because the movement was attracting progressive thinkers, people who believed in education reform, women's rights, and even, democracy. The authorities feared Froebel's ideas weren't just educational, they were subversive. So while Froebel passed away with his movement under attack in his own country, his ideas were about to explode across the ocean. German immigrants brought Froebel's kindergarten model to the United States in the mid-1800s. The first American kindergarten was opened in Watertown, Wisconsin in 1856, and interestingly, it was conducted in German. It wasn't until Elizabeth Peabody, an educational pioneer, translated the method and launched the first English-speaking kindergarten in Boston that the movement truly took off. Suddenly, kindergartens began popping up in cities across America, and before long, all around the globe. Today, the concept is so widespread that, honestly, we kind of forget it ever had an origin story. Froebel's gifts, those simple wooden toys, had an eerie and profound influence on the world. One child who grew up playing with them was Frank Lloyd Wright, the legendary architect. Wright later said Froebel's blocks gave him his earliest sense of geometry, balance, and structure. Other great minds influenced by Froebel's methods: Albert Einstein, Buckminster Fuller, even Wassily Kandinsky. Some believe Froebel's gifts planted the seeds of modernist thought, design, and even the Bauhaus movement. So, could it be that the humble kindergarten wasn't just an educational reform, but a quiet artistic and philosophical revolution? Today, kindergarten is a global institution, but its roots lie in one man's radical idea, that children are not empty vessels to be filled, but unique beings to be nurtured, like seedlings in a garden. Froebel didn't just invent kindergarten, he changed how the world understands childhood. So the next time you see a child painting, building, or just playing, remember, that moment is the legacy of a German man with a wild dream, that even the smallest seed can one day transform the world. If this mind-blowing history surprised you, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden stories that shaped our world. And let us know in the comments, should we explore the hidden origins of other everyday things? Until next time, stay curious.